Hello friends, welcome to our YouTube channel. Today we have an exciting topic to discuss that can transform your career in the world of information security. Friends, we are diving into the world of Cism classes, right? The Cism stands for Certified Information Security Manager, is a globally recognized certification designed for the professionals who want to excel in the field of information security, right? Whether you are just starting your career or looking to advances, this session and ongoing upcoming sessions are your tickets to the success. Friends, thank you for joining us today. If you are ready to take your career to the next level, hit the subscribe button and let's embark on this exciting journey together. Friends, stay tuned for more valuable insights on the CISM and the world of information security. With this much of introduction, let's move ahead in the CISM classes. Let's discuss about the exam pattern. Friends, with the passage of this passage provide important information about the CISM, right? That is Certified Information Security Manager exam, including details about the format, time, allocation, scoring, and source of the exam questions, right? We'll discuss each one by one. First is of 150 multiple choice questions. Friends, in this the candidates taking the CISM exam have 4 hours to complete it. The exam consists of 150 multiple choice questions which cover the 4 job practices in the area of CISM, right? Like just if a candidate begin the exam at 9 a.m., they will have until 1 p.m. to complete all 150 questions, right? We have discussed about the answer choices like content body of the questions and 4 answer choices. Friends, each multiple choice question in the exam provide 4 answer choices and candidates must select the single best answer, right? If a question asks about the primary objective of the risk assessment, the candidate must choose the most appropriate answer from the 4 choices provided, right? Candidates have the flexibility to skip the question also and return to them later, right? They can also flag the questions they want to review later if time permits, right? Somewhat, while taking the examination, candidates can see the remaining time on the screen, allowing them to manage their time effectively, right? Just take an example that if a candidate sees that they have 30 minutes left and several unanswered questions, they can adjust their pace accordingly, right? And after completing the examination, candidate will be directed to close it. At that point, the exam will display their pass or fail status. It is important that the score and the passing status are subject to review, right? They might be, however, they should be aware that their scores might be reviewed for accuracy, right? Moving further ahead, let's discuss about the exam approach. Friends, in this, read each questions carefully and eliminate the incorrect answers and make the best choice possible, right? CISM questions consist of the STEM question like actual question and the 4 answer choices. Candidates are required to choose the correct or the best answer from these options, right? The STEM might ask which of the following is the most critical step in incident response, right? So 4 answers and the 4 answers will be provided. The STEM can take the various format. It may be direct questions or an incomplete statement or even a scenario or description of the situation, right? So first, candidates are advised to read the entire STEM carefully and determine what the question is asking, right? This means that comprehending the context and specific information being sought, right? It is important to look for the keywords in the STEM such as best, most or first, right? Before selecting and recording any answer, right? Candidates should also pay attention to the key terms that may indicate which domain or concept is being tested, right? This helps in aligning the response with the relevant knowledge area, right? So candidates are also advised to read all the answer options provided. After reviewing the options, it is beneficial to revisit the STEM to attempt to eliminate answer choices based on the initial understanding of the question. Understood? So if two options seems plausible, a rereading the stem might help in selecting the most appropriate answer based on the context. Right? Friends, moving to the exam scoring and reporting. Friends, only correct answers are scored. The candidate's scores are reported as scaled score. A scaled score is conversion of a candidate's raw score to a common score. Right? So candidates are scored on each of the 4 job practices areas, and these scores are then combined to provide one final scaled score. Right? So friends, to pass the Cism examination, a final score of 450 or above is required. Right? So the exam questions are derived from a job practice analysis study conducted by the ISACA. Right? So these questions are designed to reflect task performed in a Cism day-to-day activity and the background knowledge needed to manage an information security program effectively. Right? Let's discuss, moving further ahead, let's discuss about the how to get certified. Right? Friends, to become a Cism professional, a candidate must have at least 5 years of professional work experience in information security management. Right? This experience should be verifiable and gained within 10 years preceding the application date for certification or within 5 years of passing the Cism examination. Right? Friends, experience waiver of up to 2 years may be available. Right? If a candidate has worked as an information security manager for 6 years in the last 10 years, they meet the experience requirement. Right? Moving to the ethics. What is ethics? Ethics commitment, like candidate must commit to the adhering to the ISACA code of professional ethics, which set ethical standard for personal and professional conduct among the certified professionals. Right? After that, candidate must pass the Cism examination, and passing score is valid for up to 5 years. If a candidate passes the examination but does not complete the certification process within 5 years, they must retake the examination to become Cism certified. Understood? So if a candidate passes the Cism examination in 2022, they have until 2027 to complete the certification process. Right? So Cism professionals are adhered to the Cism Continuing Professional Education Policy, like CPE. This policy mandates the minimum of 20 continuing professional education hours annually, with a total requirement of 120 continuing professional education over each 3-year certification period. Right? Let's understand it. A Cism professional may attend the cybersecurity conferences, take online courses, or participate in workshops to earn CPE and stay updated with the industry knowledge. So after passing the Cism exam successfully and meeting the experience requirement and committing to the code of professional ethics and standards, candidates are ready to apply for certification. Right? The application must be submitted within 5 years of passing the examination. Right? Let's moving further ahead. Let's discuss about the few domains which we are going to cover. Friends, the course content is divided into 4 domains, like information security governance, which holds around 17% of the exam. Approx 26 questions we can expect from this domain. Moving next is information security risk management. It holds 20%. Information security program development and management, it holds 33%. And information security incident management, which is of weightage of 30%, we'll discuss in upcoming slides. Right? Friends, you are advised to read and understand which area of the exam content require more attention. Right? This implies that not all topics may be equally familiar or well understood by every candidates. Right? If a candidates find that they are less knowledgeable about security risk management, they can allocate more study time to that area, or you can watch that video once again. Right? Friends, Cism exam includes the questions that test a candidate's ability to practically apply these knowledges. Right? So these questions are designed to assess how well a candidate can use their understanding in real world scenario. Right? So at the end of this video, there are sample questions also, which we will definitely discuss in the upcoming slides. Right? So without wasting time, and let's directly jump on towards the chapter 1, that is domain 1. Right? The domain 1 is information security governance. Right? So friends, as the name, information security governance, the first word governance, let's discuss what is the governance is. Right? Friends, governance is defined as a process by which the senior management exercise strategic control over various business functions. Right? So let's understand it with an example. Like just take an example in a large corporation. Right? Senior executives make decisions that affect the entire organization direction, including setting goals, defining policies, and delegation authority to department and teams. Understood? So it is a process by which the senior management exercises strategic control. Right? What are the element of governance? Element of governance such as first is the policies. Right? So friends, governance involves several key elements, including policies, objective, delegation of authority, and monitoring. Right? So first is the policy. What is the policy? Friends, these are the guidelines or the rules set by the senior management to ensure that the organization operates in the compliance with its strategic goals and ethical standards. Moving next, objectives. Friends, what is objectives? We have discussed in the series classes also. However, just as a review, we can understand that governance set the specific objectives that the organization aims to achieve, aligning them with its overall business vision. Understood? Moving to the next, that is next element, that is delegation of authority. Friends, in governance, it involves assigning the responsibility and decision making power to individual and team within the organization. Right? Ensuring that the actions are taken in line with the organization goal. And at last, it is monitoring. Friends, in governance, including ongoing oversight and evaluation to ensure that the business processes effectively align with the organization objective and policies. So let's understand it with the help of an example. Right? Let's understand that a company governance might establish a policies on data security, set objectives for revenue growth, delegate authority to department head, and regularly monitor financial performance. Right? So what is the policy of governance in this? The primary purpose of governance is to oversee and control all other business processes within the organization to ensure that they align with the organization business vision and objectives. Right? So governance ensures that every department and function, from finance to marketing to operation, is working in harmony to achieve the company strategic goal. Right? Moving next, let's discuss about the topic information security governance. Right? We have understood about the governance. Now moving further ahead about the information security governance. Let's understand it. Right? Friends, the information security governance is described as a process that involves establishing and managing framework. Right? This framework serves several purposes. Right? First, ensuring that information security strategy align with the organization business objectives. Second, ensuring compliance with the applicable laws and regulations. And third, achieving these objectives by following standard policies and internal controls. Right? Let's understand it. Friends, an organization information security governance framework might include the policies and control to protect the sensitive customer data, aligning with its business objectives of maintaining customer trust. Right? Moving further ahead. Friends, this information security governance has been divided into two parts. First, under the enterprise governance and information security strategy. Under the enterprise governance, we have importance of the information security governance. Second, organization culture. Third will be the legal, regulatory and contractual requirement. And fourth is the organizational structure, roles and responsibilities. Similarly, under the information security strategy, we have information security strategy development. Second, information governance framework and standard. And third, strategic planning. Right? So, as we have understood about the governance, information security governance, now the new term we are encountering is enterprise governance. What is enterprise governance? Right? Let's understand it. Friends, enterprise governance will discuss each and every paragraph in a comprehensive way. Right? Friends, information can be defined as a data endowed with meaning and purpose. Right? Information plays a critical role in all aspects of our lives. Similarly, information has become an indispensable component of conducting businesses for virtually all enterprises. In a growing number of companies, information is the business. Similarly, a broad array of technology continue to make it possible to access information. Together, IT constitutes key element in every enterprises. Friends, the paragraph starts by defining the information as data endowed with meaning and purpose. Right? This means that the information is not just raw data, but data that has been processed and interpreted to serve as a specific goal or objectives. Right? Let's take an example. Think of a weather forecast. Raw data might include the temperature, humidity, and wind speed. But information is when these data points are analyzed and presented to tell you whether it will rain tomorrow or not. Understood? Now the next line, information plays a critical role in all aspects of our lives. That is the role of information. Friends, the paragraph emphasizes that the information plays a critical role in all aspects of our lives. This means that information is not limited to just business. It's relevant in the various contexts such as personal, educational and scientific. Right? Let's take an example. In education, grades and test scores are information that help the student and teachers assess performance and make decision about the future study plan. Right? Next, information in the business. Information has become an indispensable component of conducting business for virtually all enterprises. Right? In this, it highlights the information is now indispensable for conducting businesses in most enterprises. In some cases, information is the core of the business operation. So example, e-commerce company like Amazon rely heavily on the customer data to recommend products, manage inventory and personalize user experience. Right? Next, in a growing number of companies, information is the business. Right? Similarly, a broad array of technology continue to make it possible to access information. Friends, it mentions that the technology enable the access to the information. Right? This refers to the digital tool and the system that make it easier for the individuals and organizations to gather or process or store and share information. Right? Just take an example like a search engine like Google and social media platform like Facebook uses technology to enable the user to access a vast amount of information on the internet. Right? And at last, together it constitutes a key element in every enterprises. Friends, it concludes by stating that the IT, that is information technology, is a fundamental element in every enterprise. Right? This means that information technology is an essential part of modern business operation. Right? Bank rely on IT system for online banking services and transaction processing, or else you can say customer data management. Right? So this paragraph explains the importance of information in the various aspects of life, particularly in the business, and how technology and IT are essential for managing and accessing this information. Friends, we'll discuss in every paragraph the important points which you will require to think and understood it in a more easier way, right? Moving further ahead, let's discuss about the enterprise governance is a continuation, right? So friends, enterprise information technology is increasingly important, right? Because a majority of national critical infrastructure in the developed world are controlled by the private sector. Much of the task of protecting critical information resources falls squarely on private corporation. So in many enterprises, responsibility for that resource protection resides within two important and distinct component: governance and management. Friends, the paragraph starts by highlighting the increasing importance of enterprise, right? This means that information technology is becoming crucial for the functioning and security of organization. By taking an example, consider a hospital that relies on IT system for patient record management, scheduling appointment, and even monitoring critical medical equipment. So any IT failure can have severe consequences, right? Next, because the majority of national critical infrastructure in the developed world are controlled by the private sector, right? In this private sector role in protecting the critical infrastructure, right? It mentions that the developed countries, many critical infrastructures are controlled by the private sector, right? So therefore, the responsibility of protecting these critical information resource falls on the private corporation. In an example, we can say in the United States, the power grid is predominantly operated by the private utility companies. So these companies are responsible for safeguarding the grid against the cyber attack to ensure uninterrupted electric supply. Right? Now, in many enterprises, the responsibility for that resource protection resides within two important and distinct components: governance and the management. Friends, in this, it introduces two distinct components within the enterprise responsible for resource protection, that is governance and the management. The difference between the two we'll discuss in the next slide. However, let's understand this line into the easier way. So in a large corporation, the board of directors and the executive leadership team represent the governance body, while IT managers and the team responsible for day-to-day operation represent the management component, right? So it explains that the governance ensure that the need of the various stakeholders are evaluated to determine balance agreed upon enterprise objectives. So these objectives are then used to set direction and monitor performance and compliance, right? Let's take an example. Just understand, in a retail company, governance might involve setting objectives for expanding into the new market based on the stakeholder feedback and market analysis. So they would also monitor financial performance to ensure alignment with these objectives, right? So in this, the management plan, build, run and monitor the activities in alignment with the direction set by the governance body to achieve the enterprise objectives, right? So we can understand it like within a software development company, management is responsible for designing project plan and allocating resource and ensuring that developers meet deadlines and quality standards in the line with the strategic direction set by the governance body, right? Let's moving further ahead. Let's discuss about the, as per the COBIT, the difference between the governance and the management. So friends, let's understand the, as per the COBIT, the difference between the governance and the management, right? As per the COBIT, the governance defines that governance ensures the need of various stakeholders and evaluated to the determine balance agreed on enterprise objectives, and those objectives are then used to set direction through prioritization and decision making and to monitor performance and compliance, right? Let's understand it. Friends, the paragraph states that governance is an enterprise refer to the strategic leadership and decision making process that ensures the organization goal align with the need and the expectation of its stakeholders, right? So let's understand it like it is a need of stakeholders, various stakeholders, right? So in this, the governance ensures that the need and the concern of various stakeholders, including shareholders, customers, employees, and regulatory authorities, are considered and evaluated, right? Just take an example that in a publicly traded technology company, stakeholders may include investors looking for growth or customers seeking innovative products and regulatory agencies concerned with data security. Governance would involve assessing and addressing these stakeholder needs when setting enterprise objectives, right? Next, determine balance and agreed on the enterprise objectives, right? So friends, governance is responsible for setting the balance and agreed upon enterprise objectives that take into account the diverse interests of the stakeholders. So these objectives provide a clear sense of direction for the organization. Just take an example like a healthcare organization might establish objectives focused on the improving patient care quality, reducing cost, and complying with the healthcare regulation. So these objectives balance the interest of the patient, staff, and regulatory bodies. Right? Now these objectives are then used to set direction. Direction that once objectives are established, governance set the direction by organization by prioritizing initiatives and making the strategic decision. Just take an example like an automobile manufacturer may prioritize the development of electric vehicle and allocate significant resources to electric vehicle research and production to align with the global shift towards sustainable transportation. Right? And at last it is to monitor performance and compliance, right? Now the performance governance also oversee the organization performance in achieving these objectives and ensure compliance with the relevant laws and regulations. Just take an example such as a financial institution governed would monitor its performance in terms of risk management and financial stability and regulatory compliance, making necessary adjustment as needed. Right? Let's discuss about the management. Friends, as per the COBIT, the management plan, build, run and monitor activities in alignment with the direction set by the governance body to achieve the enterprise objectives. Right? Friends, management is responsible for executing the strategies and plan established by the governance. Right? It involves the day-to-day operational activities required to achieve the enterprise objectives. Right? It includes the term plan, right? Friends, management plan the specific action and projects and initiative needed to achieve the enterprise objectives set by the governance body, right? Similarly, take an example that in a retail business, management may plan promotional campaign, inventory management, strategies and the supply chain improvement to meet the objective of increasing market shares. Similarly, it builds also building and running activities. Friends, management is responsible for implementing and overseeing the activities designed to achieve the objective. This includes allocating resources, coordinating team and making operational decision. Friends, in a software development company, management would oversee the development team as they build and maintain the software product, ensuring that the work is in line with the strategic objectives set by the governance, right? And third and last is the monitoring, right? Friends, management continually monitor the progress of these activities to ensure that they are on the track to meet the enterprise, right? Just take an example that in a project management context, a construction company management team would monitor construction progress, budget adherence and quality to ensure that a building project is completed, right? So in a summary, we can say that a governance focus on strategic planning and aligning enterprise objectives with the stakeholder need, while management is responsible for executing the plans and activities needed to achieve those objectives. Right? So together, governance and management work in the harmony to drive an organization toward its goal. Right? Let's move further ahead. Let's discuss about the enterprise governance different parts. Right? So in continuation of enterprise governance, let's understand the following points. The first is the importance of IT in the governance. Right? Friends, the importance of IT, that is information technology, and it suggests that it should be a top priority of governing body of the organization. Right? In this, like just take an example that in a financial institution, IT systems are central to the transactions, so the governing body must ensure that the security of these systems to protect the customer financial data. Right? Second point, that failure to address the security issues. Right? Friends, studies indicate that a significant number of enterprises do not effectively address the either existing or emerging security issues. Right? Example, a retail company might neglect the employee training on cybersecurity best practices, leaving them vulnerable to the phishing attack, which can lead to security breaches. Right? Now, third is a budget constraint. Friends, some enterprises leaders believe that their current information security program lack the sufficient resources including budget to effectively manage the security risk. Right? Just take an example like a small startup may struggle to allocate funds for the advanced security tools. Right? Just an example, right? Potentially leaving them to exposed to the cyber security threat. Right? Next in the point is a failure of governance in the information security. Friends, information security failure are attributed to the governance issue rather than technology one. Right? A government agency may lack clear policies and procedures for securing sensitive citizen data, leading to data breaches. Understood? Fifth in the chart is the broad level involvement. Right? Friends, the need to elevate information security discussion to the broad level, right? Similar to other critical governance function. Right? For example, a healthcare organization board should actively participate in decisions about the data protection strategies to ensure compliance with the healthcare regulation. Right? Coming to the next is the complexity of information security. Right? Friends, recognizing the complexity, relevance, and the criticality of information security, it emphasizes the need for high level attention. Right? Such as the technology company handling user data must address the evolving cybersecurity threat at the executive level to protect the customer trust. Right? After that is the privacy governance. Right? Friends, governance objective increasingly include determining requirement for privacy program, although privacy is distinct from information security. Right? An e-commerce company must comply with the privacy regulations like the California Consumer Privacy Act, like CCPA, right? Alongside the information security measures to protect the customer data. Right? Eighth is the accountability for governance. Right? Friends, senior management and the board of directors must be held accountable for information security governance, providing leadership, resources, and the processes. Taking an example like a financial institution, the board ensures that the organization invests in the cybersecurity measures to protect against the financial fraud. Right? Ninth is the treating information as a critical resources. Friends, information is considered as a critical resource and should be treated with the same care and prudence as any other essential assets. Right? Example, an intellectual property driven company must protect its trade secrets with the same diligence as its physical assets. And at last is the expanding the focus beyond IT system. Friends, information security should focus on protecting content, information and knowledge regardless of how they are handled, processed, transported or sorted. Example, a law firm must safeguard sensitive client information both within its on-premise server and in cloud-based document storage platform. Right? Moving next we'll discuss about the governance objectives, that is value creation. Right? enterprise purpose and the governance objective. The first is the value creation means realizing benefit at an optimal resource cost while optimizing the risk. Right? Friends, businesses exist to generate the value for their stakeholders. As a result, each company, commercial or not, has value generation as a governance goal. So friends, value creation entails achieving the benefit at the lowest possible resource cost while minimizing the risk as stated in the figure. Right? So friends, financial benefits for commercial firms and the high quality public services for the government bodies are the two examples of the benefit. Right? Next. Consequently, the governance system should consider all stakeholders while making benefit, risk and resource assessment decision. Friends, enterprises have multiple stakeholders and generating value means various things to each of them which might be contradictory. Right? So governance is about discussing and agreeing on the value interest of many stakeholders. So as a result, while making benefit, risk and resource assessment judgment and the governance system should take into account all stakeholders. So friends, stakeholders requirement must be translated into an executable plans for the organization. For example, using the COBIT objective cascade. Right? So next in the point is, even as the enterprise reap those benefits, the increasing dependence on information and the system that supports it and the advancing risk from an increasing host of threats are forcing management to make difficult and often costly decisions about how to effectively address information security. Friends, senior management is increasingly challenged with the necessity to remain competitive in the global economy while also taking advantage of the promise of ever bigger profits from the deployment of more information resource. So even as the business realizes those benefits, the growing reliance on the information and the system that enable it as well as the escalating risk from the growing number of threats are pushing management to make tougher and often costly decisions about how to effectively address the information security. Right? So furthermore, as the government work to address increasingly sophisticated assaults and escalating losses that represent a significant danger to their national vital infrastructure, hundreds of the new and the current rules and regulations are progressively demanding compliance and higher level of responsibility. Right? So friends, moving further ahead, let's discuss about the enterprise governance. Friends, COBIT provides us several useful ideas for enterprise governance, such as basic needs of an enterprise governance in information and technology governance system, and the governance framework that may be utilized to construct a governance system. Right? So friends, it states that the COBIT emphasizes that a governance system for an enterprise IT should be built from various components, which may be of different types, but they must work together harmoniously. Right? So first, it is built from the numerous components that can be of different types and that work together holistically. Right? Friends, it is in a large financial institution, these components might include policies, procedures, technology infrastructure, risk assessment tool, and the personnel with the specific roles in the IT governance. Right? Similarly, is dynamic and adjust to changes in the environment and the impact of those changes. Friends, the governance system should be dynamic and capable of adapting to the changes in the environment and the impact of those changes. This means that it should evolve to address emerging risks and opportunities. Taking an example, a technology company should regularly update its cybersecurity policies and procedures to respond to the new cyber threat and the vulnerabilities as they emerge. Right? Third is the clearly distinguish between governance and the management activities and structures. Friends, COBIT stresses that the importance of a clear distinction between governance and the management activities and the structures. Governance provides strategic direction and oversight, while management is responsible for executing specific tasks and the operations. Example, in a healthcare organization, the governing body sets the strategic direction for patient care, while hospital administrator and the medical staff manage daily operation and treatment protocol. And last is tailored for the need for the enterprise, using a set of design factors as parameters to customize and prioritize governance system component. Friends, the governance system should be tailored to the specific need, right? And the characteristics of the enterprise. It should use to set of design factors as parameters to customize and prioritize governance system component. Example, a global manufacturing company might customize its supply chain management governance to accommodate regional differences in the logistic and regulation while adhering to overall corporate strategies. Right? Last, it covered the end-to-end focus not only on the IT function but also on all the other technology and information processing the enterprise put in place to achieve its goal regardless of where the processing is located in the enterprise. Right? Friends, in this the COBIT emphasizes that the governance system should cover the enterprise comprehensively, right? Not limited solely to the IT functions. It should encompass all technology and information processing activities across the organization regardless of their location. By taking an example, an e-commerce platform governance system include not only the online sale website but also the payment processing infrastructure, customer support system, and even the physical warehouse responsible for order fulfillment. Right? Friends, these principles underscore the importance of a well-designed and adaptable governance framework that align with the enterprise unique need, provide clarity between the governance and the management functions, and covers all technology and information processing activities throughout the organization. So friends, such a governance system is essential for effective management, risk mitigation, and value creation in today's complex business environment. Right? Friends, here we come to the end of this enterprise governance. Please do subscribe to our channel and stay tuned for more updates. Thank you.